Next on Live Digital, is it time to buy an iPad 2? Can you game Google and get better search results? Are Macs now more vulnerable to hackers? And will research in motion make everyone a Crackberry addict? Plus, I'll chat with Nina Zagat about the new Zagat.com. I'll talk with social media consultant Juliet Powell about how she uses social media. And digital dating expert Andrea Sertash will help us meet Mr. or Ms. Right online. We've got some great Facebook tips and cool websites. And Steve Rosenbaum and I will discuss how your tax dollars are going to subsidize internet access for the poor as I help you live digital. Hi, my name is Shelly Palmer, and this is Live Digital, a show about living and working in a digital world. First up, let's have a look at the top stories in technology, media, and entertainment. In a move that surprised absolutely no one, Apple finally announced the iPad 2. There was one welcome surprise, though. Steve Jobs was at the event, making his first appearance since taking a medical leave. The new iPad 2 features dual-facing cameras, a 33% thinner body, and it has a blazingly fast dual-core processor. It'll be in stores on March 11th, but you can pre-order online at apple.com, att.com, or verizon.com. Speaking of pre-orders, are you wondering how Verizon's iPhone 4s are selling? Verizon CEO said that iPhone 4 sales are the best in history, selling more phones during its launch than any other. More than 60% of these purchases, however, were made online, which explains why in-store sales looked so poor. Now, there are no final sales numbers that were given, but analysts think over 500,000 iPhones were pre-ordered online. And from the you didn't expect AT&T to lay down and die department, AT&T will support turning your iPhone 4 into a mobile hotspot with the new iOS 4.3. For $45 a month, AT&T's Data Pro plan will turn your iPhone into a 5-device mobile hotspot. Is that enough to make you want to buy an AT&T iPhone 4? Probably not. Google has recently taken extra measures to lower the ranks of websites that attempt to game the system. Google's targeting link farms by adjusting its algorithm to weed out low-quality sites. Will it work? Of course it will. Gaming Google is a full contact sport, and you should only try to do it if you're willing to have your site disappear from Google search results pages or just get ranked so low you can't stand it. Google really doesn't have a sense of humor about people trying to game the system. But they do have a sense of humor about partnering. Google Street View is making its way off-road. Google took its cameras through attractions in France, Ireland, and the United States. If you own private property, you can join Google's partner program and be added to Street View yourself. I bet you can't wait to give Google, and of course the rest of the world, access to your private property via Street View. You know, you really can't make this stuff up. And speaking of stuff you can't make up, ICANN, the group that oversees domain names, has turned down a proposal that would allow governments to veto controversial suffixes. Governments can still choose to file objections, of course, by paying a fee. If you remember, the Bush administration previously struck down a proposal for the .xxx extension. The Mac OS X operating system used to be able to fly under hackers' radar when it came to malicious viruses. Now, a remote access Trojan virus can be installed on Macs that gives hackers access to the machine. The backdoor virus most commonly infects computers that are downloaded via pirated software. Now, there's a common myth that Macs are virus-proof. They're not. They're just less interesting targets because they only represent 5 to 8% of the computers in the world. Remember, you need to use name brand virus protection software on every computer and smartphone you own. On the Android front, the Motorola Xoom was just released and it's already been hacked wide open. Some have overclocked the processor to 1.5 gigahertz and say that the hardware was just designed to be easily taken apart. Now, don't be too quick to mod your Xoom. Doing so will make you ineligible for the 4G upgrade. Are you wondering what I'm talking about? It took hackers about 1 day to break open the new Motorola Xoom tablet and void its warranty. If you're not a hacker, don't worry. You know who should worry, though? Private Bradley Manning. The U.S. Army is charging him on 22 counts for leaking classified documents to WikiLeaks. The most severe offense is aiding the enemy, which, by the way, is punishable by death. The charge assumes that Manning knew that enemies could access the information online. Laptop manufacturer Lenovo recently showed off a laptop that can be controlled with your eyesight. A sensor bar tracks your eye movements using the Windows 7 operating system. The prototype lets users look off the screen to pull up a menu bar and makes pixel-precise selections wherever you look. It is super cool. Nintendo is creating a channel for 3D video content that's going to feature select shorts and trailers for the new 3DS gaming device. They're also working with Netflix to bring streaming content to the 3DS via 10,000 new AT&T hotspots. And out in space, astronauts aboard the Discovery space shuttle used a humanoid robot to work on the International Space Station. The Robonaut 2 lives on board with the astronauts and will be affixed to a pedestal from which it can work. Engineers hope to ship its legs later this year. Love BlackBerry Messenger, but not the phone? Well, you're in luck, because BlackBerry plans on releasing the service as an app for Android devices and iPhones. BlackBerry will offer a stripped-down version for free and a paid version with all the functions you'd expect, for pay. Now, everyone can become a Crackberry addict, or maybe we already have. A recent survey suggests that mobile gadget users are ruder than ever. 75% of those surveyed believe the behavior has gotten worse since 2009. Over 90% said that they witness multiple infractions every day, like texting while driving or talking loudly in public. Give me a sec here. Okay, the FCC plans to reallocate funds for subsidizing phone service for the poor to provide better broadband coverage as well. The Lifeline Assistance and Link Up America programs currently only fund telephone installation and monthly service for the poor. But now, the government thinks internet access is a necessity, and it's going to be a necessary public utility. Is it really? To help me sort this out, please welcome Steve Rosenbaum, the author of Curation Nation and CEO of Magnify.net. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, subsidizing the phones for the poor people of the world has been a necessary thing since 911.
Yeah.
Internet access?
So this is so easy. Sometimes you ask me hard questions. This is an easy one. Think about kids. Think about education. Think about how much education is going to be driven by broadband. If the point of education is to take people that are underprivileged and teach them and bring them up and actually make our society a better place, and you have schools that can't use the broadband access to teach students, you have a problem. Has to happen.
I get it has to happen. Personally, I believe it's a have to have. Should the public be paying for it with money should even phone systems be considered mandatory at this point?
This is a larger political question about whether or not the government should be responsible for providing funds to kind of help underprivileged get a leg up. What I would say is this: if you spend 2 minutes without broadband and try and book a hotel room or do research or find about a movie or learn about the world, what you find very quickly is broadband is like electricity, it's like water, it's a public utility.
As a matter of fact, there's so much information, I need to curate it, and you happen to have a new book out.
I do.
Shameless plug, go ahead. Curation Nation, tell me all about it. Author of Curation Nation, Steve Rosenbaum.
So here's the exciting thing about Curation Nation. In writing the book, I started out with this idea that curation was a word people needed to understand. What I stumbled into and what I think people will enjoy in reading the book is it's actually a massive business opportunity. I mean, you're sitting at home, you've done your day job, you put your kids to bed, and you're a passionate collector of 68 Chevy parts.
I am, as you know.
There you go. So all of a sudden, there's now this thing on the web that says, search is too noisy, search is broken, I need to talk to people. I want Shelly Palmer to tell me what I need to know about media. And one of the things that's happening on the web, and I think you might have noticed this, it's harder and harder to use Google to find the things that are current and topical and interesting to you, because it's just gotten too noisy out there.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
There's way more stuff than we'll ever have time to see. So Curation Nation is about how
Curation Nation says, robots do a lot, algorithms are great, but at the end of the day, the thing that's going to help you find information and knowledge is humans. And it's 300 pages that teaches you how to become a curator, how to use curation in your life, how to learn about the history of curation. And I also, I put in a little bit of a story about, kind of the journey that I took from being a magician at age 14 up through being a professional curator today.
And professional curator, just another quick shameless plug, Magnify.net has how many curated streams of video available now?
85,000.
85,000. Unbelievable. Yeah. Steve Rosenbaum, author of Curation Nation. Go to Amazon, buy it now. It's out in bookstores everywhere.
It is.
And of course, go get your video curated at Magnify.net.
Thank you, Shelly.
Steve Rosenbaum, thanks so much. I'm Shelly Palmer, and you're watching Live Digital. Did you know that you can buy and sell pretty much anything on Facebook? Today's Facebook tip will show you how to use Facebook Marketplace. To get started, visit facebook.com/marketplace or access the marketplace through the left-hand menu. Once there, you can choose to search or post a listing. You can look for stuff like cars, jobs, and real estate by city or by social network. Want to make sure you can trust the seller? You can limit your search and see what your friends have put on sale. Have a room you need to rent but don't want a stranger living there? Post it on the marketplace. All you need to do is provide a title, price, and category. Choose if you want everyone to see it or just friends. Provide a description and upload some photos. Facebook's Marketplace is an easy and secure way to show classified listings to friends or even friends of friends. Start selling and buying by visiting facebook.com/marketplace. For more Facebook tips and techniques, visit shellypalmer.com. Is there a future for user-generated content? Actually, not only is there a future, there was a past. Zagat's Guide started out as user-generated content, but it has become so much more. With me today is Nina Zagat, the co-chairman, co-founder, co-goddess of Zagat's Guide. How are you, Nina?
It's great to be here.
So, tell me all about the new Zagat.com.
It's fabulous.
Okay.
What we've done is totally rebuilt the site so that it's got the latest technology. It's got lots more free content. We want to be sure that anybody that comes to Zagat.com gets a satisfying experience and great information to pick the best restaurant, even if they want to be totally free. And of course, the curated content is for pay.
Okay, of course the curated content is for pay. Now, I've been at Zagat's for many, many times. The new site is really nice. I understand it's in previews.
Yes.
So it's going to be in previews for how long?
Well, we'll have to see. What we decided to do was to launch it, start dealing with all of the last-minute things that you'd sort of prefer to do on your own, but we'd like to share it with the users, get their feedback as well. And we've got this is just the beginning. We've got so many new features that we want to keep adding over the next 6 months.
So Zagat's has a great iPhone app, great Android app. You guys are all mobile. What is the value now of Zagat.com? Is it as important as it used to be, or is it all trending another way?
You know, our view is that it's best to give customers the information on every platform. People use different platforms in different ways. We all love to use our mobile devices, but when you're sitting in the office at your computer or at your laptop, you want to be able to use Zagat.com and get all the information you want.
So what's actually new at the new Zagat.com?
First of all, we reveal the people behind the quotes. For the first time, you're able to see, as you look at the quotes in our curated reviews, as you scroll over them, you're able to see whose quote it was.
But what's not new is I'm still going to find the best restaurants, how they're priced, what people think about it, and of course, it's curated in that unique Zagat way. Yes?
Absolutely.
So we're not going to. It's not that new. It's just enhanced.
But the free content is enormously enhanced. There are all kinds of search tools that we never had before.
Wonderful.
So that you can search on a map. You can draw a little circle around the area that you want to look at and see all the places in that area. You can have a percentage liked so that you see what the Zagat community thinks about a place.
And I can find it all at
www.zagat.com.
Wonderful. Nina Zagat, thank you so very, very much for being here. I cannot wait to go back to Zagat.com and see all the new stuff. Thanks again.
Well, thank you.
All right, I'm Shelly Palmer, and you are watching Live Digital. Online dating has become an increasingly popular way to meet people, but it can be an overwhelming experience. To help us survive the wild, wild west of relationships is Andrea Sertash, digital dating expert and author of He's Just Not Your Type, and that's a good thing. Andrea, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
Okay, he's just not your type.
And that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Yes.
Why is it a good thing?
Well, I mean, Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So my theory is actually pretty simple. You keep dating the same type of person, stop complaining about it, break your pattern.
I see. So this actually is based on Einstein's math and theories of the universe.
Oh, definitely.
I've never heard dating sort of equated that way.
Very mathematical.
Very.
And yes, it was a lot of fun to work on.
So online dating is
Yes.
really all the rage. Everybody I know is online dating. Married men are online dating at Ashley Madison. Not married men are dating at eHarmony and other places. What's happening in the world? Did we just stop meeting people?
We're still, I think online dating is fantastic, but it was never intended for e-relationships. So right off the bat, I will say it's here to stay and it's growing like crazy. So it's not going anywhere. But these tools were not invented for us to stay online. So we still need to meet in the real world, and we still need to meet people at parties and through friends and all the other ways that we used to meet people.
I was at a restaurant the other night. I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, and I saw a couple sitting across from one another, and they were both on their Blackberries while they were together for probably half the meal, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of, is that a relationship?
That's not a good, we need to create some boundaries with technology. 1 in 5 people are Facebooking in bed with their partner next to them. It's just, we need to create some boundaries.
No, I just want to know how you get that number. 1 in 5 people are Facebooking in bed with their partner. That's a frightening number. I'm just not sure how you did the research.
Well, the Pew Research Center did the research.
I see. What I've heard it described as, yes, we're together, but alone.
Aww. So sad.
So give me some tips for digital relationships in the 21st century.
Okay, well, I think, like I said, I think it's important to have an online strategy and an offline strategy. So as far as the online thing, over 40 million people are dating online. It's hard to stand out. So I think there are a few tips I can give you on how to stand out. You want to keep your essay specific and short, concise. So instead of huge, broad statements.
I got to stop you.
Yeah.
Strategy, online and offline, and an essay.
Yes.
This sounds like an SAT prep for college. It doesn't, I'm going to go date, but I'm going to have an online strategy, an offline strategy, and I'm going to work on my essay?
Well, finding love for a lot of people is a huge priority, so we need to put the effort in, right? I mean, you would put that effort in if you were doing a resume or a cover letter.
It's a little different than, can I buy you a drink, or would you like to perhaps, I've been off the market for a very long time, but is that what it's come to now? I need a strategy?
You do need a strategy, because if you're sloppy in any way, if you have grammatical errors and spelling errors, people click next and you may not meet your match.
Okay.
So.
Well, in order to get a real perspective on this, first thing I have to do is go to Amazon.com and buy your book, which is called...
He's Just Not Your Type, and that's a good thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I can find you where? On what .com can I find you?
AndreaSurtash.com, and maybe I'll spell it really quickly. AndreaSurtash.
Surtash, just like it sounds.
It's so easy.
Awesome. Andrew, thanks so much for being here. Truly appreciate it. Date well. I'm getting my online and offline strategy together right now. I'm Shelly Palmer, and you're watching Live Digital. How can you successfully use digital media in business? Here to tell us all about it is Juliet Powell, digital media consultant, co-founder of the Gathering think tank, and author of 33 Million People in the Room. Hey, Juliet.
Hi, Shelly.
So how are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited. Going to South by Southwest in a few days.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Love South by. What's new? That's the social media capital of the planet.
It is.
So what's going on?
Well, I look forward to finding out. I mean, obviously, you've got a cross-section of friends from all over the world that are all doing interesting things in digital media, and they're all kind of convalescing in this one place, trying to co-create the future of social media. What that's going to look like, you're going to have to invite me back to talk about it. But one of our clients is launching a huge crowdsourcing project there, which is one of the reasons why I'm going. And I look forward to, again, like just getting all of that input from actual technologists that want to be able to have a positive impact on the world, which is, I think it's something that all of us want to do, but it's a different thing to actually think about something, upload it, and then follow it, make sure that it happens.
Well, social media has had a lot of play in the last few months. You use it to
The last few months?
Well, no, but I mean, really, you use it to overthrow governments now. And though it used to be kind of fun to tweet about having a latte, and now there's a lot more to it. And people have recognized, I think there's always been a lot more to it personally, but now people have really recognized the power. How are businesses using it more effectively now that it's being used to overthrow governments in other people's spare time?
Well, what I think is particularly interesting is that so far people have very much associated with advertising and marketing and how to kind of get their message out there, right? A lot of branding. Then you've got what's been happening in the Middle East as well as North Africa, and the idea that, yes, you can change things from a fundamental level, from the ground up.
Yes.
How do those two ideas kind of coalesce within the business world? Well, I'm seeing more and more businesses trying to get lessons from what they're seeing. In other words, the idea that potentially, if they don't include their employees in the creative process, whether it's, new products, but also new ways to kind of save money, reduce redundancies, using social media internally, then they're kind of missing the mark. They've got all of these inner resources that they're already paying for, human capital, and all of a sudden they're kind of empowering their employees to have a say, which is far more powerful than the idea box and far more than the intranets of the past.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Can it go too far at this point? Can we take social media so at face value that everyone's sort of knee-jerk reacting to it? Sure, there was a suggestion box, and it took a while for someone to sort through that.
Right.
Now employees are empowered to tell you very quickly how unhappy or happy they are, what does or doesn't need to be fixed.
But how are we going to fix it? And that, I think, is part of the solution. It's not just about complaining, and it's not just about heralding great things. It's about finding solutions together. And great, hey, I know how to do this, and you know how to do that. And so it's these organic groups that are forming internally inside of companies, which have nothing to do with the silos or the departments or even the titles that they have, but just people that get inspired because all of a sudden they thought of something and they've got somebody to exchange with that isn't their boss, that isn't the person that they sit next to on a day-to-day basis. So there's something about being able to share ideas and actually see it through. There's a lot of value there, especially for companies.
Wonderful. Julia Powell, author of 33 Million People in the Room. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you'll come back after South by and we'll have a long talk about it. I look forward to it. I'm Shelly Palmer, and you're watching Live Digital. The Live Digital team found some cool websites to help you live digital. Want an awesome interactive way to chat online with a friend or a group? PalTalk.com takes instant messaging to the next level with free chat rooms, video calls, and 10-way video conferencing. PalTalk.com has access to your buddies on most major platforms, including AIM, Google, and Facebook. You get your own customizable URL to send to friends and family for an easy way to connect. You can even go mobile with BlackBerry and iPhone apps. Join the conversation at paltalk.com. Whether you're a novice or expert, net.tutsplus.com offers the most comprehensive tutorials for designers and developers on the net. Learning how to make your own website and want to nudge in the right direction? Well, hundreds of free articles will help you find your way. Net.tutsplus.com also offers premium content at a low price, including step-by-step video tutorials that promise to take you from newbie to ninja. Visit net.tutsplus.com and become a pro at making your own cool website. Maybe you don't have time to learn all the tricks, but you still want professional web content? ThemeForest.net offers unique premium templates for websites, blogs, and even e-commerce. Want to send out an awesome-looking email blast for your small business? ThemeForest.net provides easy-to-edit templates that will make a lasting impression. See for yourself at ThemeForest.net. If you've got a website you'd like to share, send me an email. It's Shelly@ShellyPalmer.com. And that's our show for today. If you have questions or want more information, friend me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, find me on LinkedIn, or visit ShellyPalmer.com. For Live Digital, I'm Shelly Palmer. Thanks so much for watching.